My yarn stash has become a bit unruly. Between store-bought yarn, thrifted yarn, and sweater unravelings, I can't even remember everything I own. When my stash was very small, I kept all of it on my bookshelf in wooden boxes, but as it kept expanding, it went into a basket, a shoebox, and even some ended up in my darning box. Then some more went into a drawer next to my desk, and even more migrated to some drawers in another room entirely. I don't have enough room in any one place to keep it all together, but I think I can at least make it easier to see what I have at any one time. So grab whatever project you're working on and keep me company while I sort through the absolute chaos that is my yarn collection. This is what we're dealing with. A little bit of mayhem and almost no organization. So I kind of decided that the drawers next to my desk over there, I actually want to put even more of my yarn over there because it's actually just a good system and I can really easily see my stash. I can easily have access to it. I can see everything kind of like right in front of me when I'm looking for a project to make or looking for yarn with a project in mind. That's kind of what I want to be able to do here. Some sock yarn. I'm going to put the sock yarn with the fingering weight yarn in the drawers by my desk. And then of course I've got things spread out, like this skein is the same yarn as this over here. Why are they split across two boxes? I don't know, but I'm going to put them together. This is the same yarn. This is the same yarn. And this is the same yarn, all different colors, so these can all be together. Then I've got a few smaller amounts of yarn that I'm not sure, what I'm gonna do with yet, but they could be used in something scrappy. Like I made the emotional support chicken and I used a little bit of these guys in it. So these I could bundle together as a sort of scrap project amount of yarn. This one is a DK Superwash Merino. And I know for a fact that this one is the same as this one, and yes, they were split across two boxes, which is great for knowing how much I have of it. These two, also the same, also split across two boxes. Really am great with the organization right now. So this is Galileo Sport Weight, 50% merino wool, 50% viscose from bamboo. Then we have this. And this is all the same yarn. I got this secondhand and I went through the whole process of de-mothifying it. It didn't have any moths that I could see, but I did the whole freezing for a very long time to make sure that nothing was living in it. So this is 2 skeins, and I believe this contains like 2 or even 3 skeins in it, and it's just caked up. And it's merino wool, silk, and bamboo. Here I have 2 single skeins. This one is, I think, Dream and Color is the brand. Suzette Light Sport Weight. It's 50% silk, 50% merino. It's such a beautiful yarn. So beautiful, I've been scared to do anything with it, honestly. I don't even know what to do with it. Here is a very fuzzy kind of, what do you call that? Like a thick and thin, loosely plied alpaca wool and silk blend. It's called Hardwick from Valley Yarns. Also have not found a project for this, but I'm sure this is enough for something small. And finally we have whatever's in this bag, which is, oh god, Gloss DK weight, which I think is like a 70% merino, 30% silk, and It's falling apart, as you can see, which is probably why I had it in that bag. So that goes in DK weight, and maybe I'll just try and put it in a cake very loosely so it doesn't get all tangled. Moving over to the drawers next to my desk, I decided instead of having one deep drawer, I'm going to steal some shallower drawers from another room and split the yarn up so that I don't have to dig through it to see what's at the bottom. So I'll rearrange my drawers here and organize some of the yarn from my bookshelf and some that was already here into the two new drawers. So all of this is the exact same yarn, so keeping it together makes sense to me. So I'm pulling this drawer out because I think I'm going to empty the array of things that's in here and find another home for them and put more yarn in here, just so I feel like it would be nice to have more yarn consolidated in one place. Okay, I'm going to try and divide it up a little bit. I have this shoebox that I can put in here. All of this DK weight yarn that is the same type of yarn will go in here, along with this DK yarn that is slightly different. It's just a merino wool. Then I have this little box I can use, but it's so dusty I need to wipe it out. Do you like my attempt at knitting a washcloth? I'm never doing it again because it destroyed my hands knitting with cotton like this. Oh my god, that was really unpleasant. Okay, that is dust free and it fits. Okay, I'm gonna put the sport weight yarns in here. So now I am on to the two bins that I have in another room, which look like a complete dumping ground. I'm going to start by emptying everything and seeing what I even have in here. I have 3 sweaters that I've unraveled or am in the process of unraveling to salvage yarn from. I have a cream-colored one, one in a gray color, and a blue tweed sweater. Here's a ball of crochet cotton, and here are some wooden needles that I bought for traveling because I'm scared of losing my metal circular ones, though these ones are so nice looking that I'm a little scared of losing them too. This is frogged yarn from my very first and very failed attempt at a sweater. I have a bag of secondhand vintage straight needles here, and this is some yarn that I'm currently using in projects, such as this red yarn for a 1920s sweater. Not sure why there's a ball of twine here. I don't crochet or knit with that, so not sure why that's here. I forgot about this actually, which is yarn I tried over dyeing to see if I could get a deeper and more even color, because I ended up with 2 different dye lots of the original. It got some unintended color variegation, but I still think it looks pretty nice. Then I have a very old project here. along with a mystery bag of even older projects that I am slightly afraid to look at. So this is an overview of everything I have to sort through now. I brought the acrylic yarns from my room into this room to sort out with the rest of the acrylic that I do have. So let's start with that. This is all the acrylic that I have, and a lot of it is actually tied up in projects, very old projects. I'm talking like I made these in 8th grade, and this one is probably 5-6 years old, maybe more. So yeah, I have to figure out what am I doing with these. So first, I guess this one might be easier. This was gonna be something like a wrap or something, and it's crocheted. But I kind of just lost my momentum on it, and I also, look at this edge. I don't know if you can see how slanted that is, but no, it's not supposed to slant. It's supposed to be straight, and that was my attempt at a straight edge. So I think I'm definitely going to frog this. In fact, I already started using it when I was teaching someone else how to knit a little bit to make this little swatch. So it's definitely getting frogged and used in something else. I think I'm going to stick it in this box, this shoe box I have here, if it will fit. Oh look, this was hiding in there. So this is some things that I've made very, very long time ago. I honestly, okay, yeah, I remember what this is. This was like a little halter top thingy I made. And I was wondering, why is it so hot? I don't think I understood at the time just how hot acrylic yarn is, and at least for me, I felt like I was wearing a trash bag, so that did not really work out, but I mean, for how young I was when I made it, it's not the worst thing in the world. Then we have, this is like another top that I made. This one was pretty okay, actually. Also acrylic yarn. I could frog it if I wanted to, but do I want to? That's the question. I seem to have made a little coaster type doily thing. Genuinely do not know what this is. It's a ring. That's all I can tell. I'm a bit perplexed by this one, so... And then we have this, which... Oh my god, yeah, wait, I remember this. I was trying to make a pencil case at some point, and I don't think I did any gauge or anything. I don't think I even knew what gauge was, and it's this big. That is a large pencil case. I could probably frog this, honestly, if it wants to. No, this one's also fighting me. Is there something about acrylic that just fights frogging? Well, and then there's this guy, which is, I don't know who made this, but it's a little crochet mitten and it goes to here. Oh my god, that is so funny looking. I kind of love it though. I at least have this ball of yarn, which is usable. And I could cut this ball of yarn off of this ginormous pouch. So I guess I'll just like salvage what I can and put it into this box. I'll just cut this off of that. Put it in here, and this will be my acrylic yarn box. The jury is still out on the fate of these old crocheted items, but I suspect They will meet their fate one way or the other. I will have a moment of silence for them. Okay, moving on. I'm going to take my acrylic yarn that I just put in this box and banish it to the bottom. Maybe I should label that so I know what's in there. State-of-the-art labeling system, piece of tape. Then I think I'm going to take the sweaters that I have frogged or that are in the process of being frogged and put them in here. As for the next drawer I have in this room, I decided to put all of the yarn that goes with my current projects into one of them. So I divided it up a little bit, fitting some of the red and black cotton yarns in a small bin that I found, which happened to fit perfectly. And I also put a gray yarn in the drawer, but I ended up finding another small bin later to put them in also. And the white bag is an entire extra package of black cotton yarn because I messed up the order and got double the amount. So I'm going to put the cotton yarn that I dyed in here. Yeah, you can actually really see on camera where the dye is uneven. Maybe I'll have to incorporate it into the design of something. And take this yarn, which is the same type of yarn, put it right next to it. And I'm going to put this extra yarn in here. And I guess why not put this in here, because there's space. And because I don't really want to think about where to put it. Now I can reveal the final result of my yarn organization. The 5 boxes I had stacked on my bookshelf before has now been reduced to just 2 boxes of my plant fiber yarn, and now I have a lot more room for other things, and importantly, space for books. It is a bookshelf after all. The state of the drawers in the other room was quite a disaster, and it was almost impossible to see anything. But now I have a pretty decent setup where I can find things rather easily without having to dig too much. I have my acrylic yarn in a box, my unraveled sweaters in separate bags, and then I have the yarn that is currently being used in projects in the other drawer where I can easily access them. The drawer next to my desk used to look like a trash can with all the plastic bags I'd saved from mail and such, and there was some yarn too if I dug around. But now I've split up the yarn between 3 drawers in this set, and it is far easier to see all of the yarn I have when I don't have to dig through a deep drawer, and it can be laid out in an actually organized way. Now it's much easier for me to see what I have, so that I can choose yarn for projects, and I can buy yarn more intentionally, knowing everything I already have. You know, this new yarn layout is really making it clear what kind of colors I gravitate towards. There's a definite blue-green theme going on. Overall, while it's not perfect or the most aesthetically pleasing setup, this is a vast improvement over before. If you'd like to see what kind of projects I make with my stash moving forward, or are interested in knitting, crochet, sewing, and all sorts of vintage and antique-inspired crafting, I encourage you to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.